Let's do a mic check.
Hello.
Okay. We're going to be sharing mics, obviously. We also have another panelist who's running late, so we hope we'll be joining us shortly. But for right now, my name is Beedle, and this is the New Voices in Horror panel. So hopefully you guys are all horror fans. You're all ready to talk about what freaks you the hell out. Are there any kids out there? Do we have to watch our language? Be a problem sometimes. Okay. This is the R-rated panel. All right. Well, first, let me start by having everybody here introduce themselves. I guess we'll go with Nicole's question. She wants to know, who are you and what psycho killer would you be? We'll start with Rachel.
Okay. My name is R.H. Stavis. It's actually Rachel, and that's what I wrote under. And psycho killer. This is probably going to be terrible, but I'm being Elizabeth Latin, a real psycho killer, because she was pretty fucking awesome.
She the one who took Dawson blood? Is that correct?
Yeah, she wanted to keep her youth, so she'd kill a bunch of virgin maids. And in very horrible, terrible ways. Like, torture devices for fun. Yeah, and they even have fun.
So I'm glad we have a chair between us. Okay, Nicole.
Well, when I wrote that, I wasn't intending to answer it. I guess I have to go through the doctor because I would only kill the rude. I'm actually afraid of animals like Netflix. I don't know how much so much I'm eating them, but definitely the sheriff prey. That's definitely my favorite. I'm Nicole Sixx. I'm right one.
Hey, I'm Jackson Lanzing. I write horror. I write a local Freakshow, Dave, right here. If I were a psycho killer, off the top of my head, I know this is going to sound really cliche, but I would absolutely be Freddy Krueger because A, knife hands, and B, high school was like total crap, and being able to go and just really mess with those kids, love it. Want it.
Hey guys, David Server, I Freakshow with Jack. Psycho killer. I feel like it's too easy, but I gotta go with the Joker, man. He's got a costume, he's got like gadgets, you know, balloons that explode, and there's like chemical gas coming out of it. I just feel like that'd be fun. So I don't know, that's my vote.
What it is now, what can we do? Like you guys mentioned you worked on Freakshow. You want to talk about it? Let's just go back down the line and say what you guys have done. Why you guys were chosen to be on this.
I have no idea. It kind of straddles the line between horror and superhero content, which is kind of the line that we straddle as well. We're both big fans of monster movies, but really specifically less the sort of slasher film and more the sympathetic monster movie. We're both big students of Guillermo del Toro. We're students of John Carpenter. We're students of these movies where you're not just dealing with, oh man, where's the monster, but you're kind of dealing with like, what is this monster, where's the monster coming from, what's the viewpoint of that monster. So Freakshow is our chance to kind of take that and round that around the superhero content that we grew up with, that we love, and kind of mash those archetypes together and see what happens. And that's basically what the book is.
No, I agree. I think it's one of those things where we'll explore it. I mean, like, you know, X-Men was definitely a big inspiration for us, and I think that's one of those places where you can look at something that's fundamental to superhero comics, but there's a horror element. Like, who am I? What's going through? What's happening to me? You know, sort of the Fury allegory, and that's really something that we wanted to play with. You know, we wanted to do something that felt like it was playing with, you know, the traditions of superhero comics, but you know, as I said, we love monsters. You know, that's something that we love Hellboy. We wanted to find ways to fuse those things, and you know, that's what we were doing.
Well, as I said, my name is Nicole Sixx, and I write horror. Right now, I'm writing vampires, which is hard to get into the thing because once you write slutty vampire romance, you're almost really scary vampire. So my current story that I ended up actually just self-publishing next year, I'll take it. It's out, so we can go do that. It's called Carousel Boys, and it's about this
really short, so I think I'm going to actually sit on my leg. Okay, better. Illusion of tone. I'm best known for writing the backstory for Lara Croft for Tomb Raider. I write video games and comics, so like not everything I do is horror, but I really love writing horror. It's really the only thing I do. And play. I love to play horror games too, like Silent Hill, Bioshock, all of that. But aside from Tomb Raider, I wrote Transformers War for Cybertron a year and a half ago. I did, recently I did Tales from Moon Lake, which Dan Fogler, we're sitting here already. That's something he created. He's an actor, writer, director. Created this anthology called, well, it's based in this place called Moon Lake, where everything is radiated from this crazy moon and everyone's psychotic. And the stories are all different. There's a bunch of different writers on it. And I read a story called Desensitized Deirdre, which is basically about a cheerleader who has a really perfect life where one day everything goes completely haywire. And she gets lost in her brain of happy fairy times and like teddy bears and all this crazy stuff. But in reality, she's killing people all the time. So it's really interesting art. So I now do the art. And it's so cool because in one panel you'll have like her dancing with teddy bears in this very Disney looking world. And then the next one, everybody's head is off and there's blood everywhere. And she's covered in blood and it's crazy. It's awesome. So stop by Arcade if you get a chance to take a look at it. It's really cool. And my most recent horror item that just came out a few months ago was with Steve Niles, and he did a book called Something Monstrous. So IDW isn't here today, but if you get a chance, check that out too.
Okay, so let's get into this, like, you know, what makes good horror. Like, for starters, do you think everyone finds the same thing to be scary? Are there commonalities of what people find scary? And then what do you personally find scary? What freaks you out? Oh.
Alright. I'm just going to get to lead off all of these. This is horrible. Okay, so, what do we find scary? See, okay, this is actually, I think, really interesting because what I find scary is not necessarily what Dave finds scary. Working with someone on a piece of something that's at least influenced by horror and has horror elements, you kind of run into those things where, you know, you can throw a lot of blood on a page. And that may be scary for someone who is scared of blood, or who is squeamish, or who doesn't like the sight of that. But there's plenty of people at this point who are desensitized to that kind of thing, and shock horror is going to do anything for them. So a lot of what you've got to do is build up suspense. And I think at the end of the day, suspense is scary for everyone. I think if you can convince someone that there's a knife behind that corner, and that knife could go through you at any time, and that your poor character is walking down that hallway, and that's terrifying because maybe there's a knife there, I think that's scary to everyone. I think at the end of the day, if you care about that person, and you care about what happens to them, as long as you're teasing out what that is, that's going to be scary. Now, the end point of it may not be, and that's where it kind of depends from person to person, you know, how much leverage you get out of that. But, say, has anybody here read Lock and Key? If you're in a horror panel and you haven't read Lock and Key, go get it right now. I shouldn't be shilling somebody else's book. Go buy Freakshow. But also, please buy Lock and Key. This is a book that every other page is something that will absolutely terrify you, and the other pages will terrify the guy next to you. It works for everyone. I don't think that there's a single person in this room that wouldn't find something that will move them and something that freaks them out of that book. And it's because it's an ensemble drama that's dealing with what terrifies a group of various people. And you can kind of watch, like, does what's inside your mind scary? Is what's inside your heart scary? Is what's outside your house or what's inside your house scary? Are you claustrophobic, or are you afraid of people? Are you afraid of public speaking? All of that gets sort of, it all gets a chance to shine in a book like that. And I think that that's, you know, moving forward in horror, it's something I'd really love to explore.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny. In a lot of ways, I certainly agree in perspective of, like, I think that for me, the scariest stuff in terms of horror can come from character, and the idea that if you are that involved in whether or not a character is safe, you know, then that sense of peril, that is going to bring tension. Because, you know, I mean, specifically in comics, because, you know, if you're working with a medium, if you're in like film or something, there's so many other tools that you can use. You can use sound to make people tense that way, music. and when it's literally just storytelling, the question becomes, how scared is someone going to be to turn the page? And if you think if I turn this page, this character, I won't be able to read about them anymore, that's scary. I've had characters that I really fell in love with. I get knocked off in a comic and I'm broken. So I think that certainly, in comic books, that's a big one. I completely agree, because I feel like ultimately that's what draws you in, and that's what's at stake. So but I personally, jump scares hit me every time. So hopefully not all of you guys will start with me as it leads, but just for the record.
Yeah, I'm definitely a jumper too. The things I turn away from in life is because you come back to that book where I was supposed to look girl. I don't like animals. I had this, when I was just a very small child, I watched a real life documentary on Hyaena stuff, and so I was just terrified of something I was going to eat alive. That was my first exposure to a little kid. People eat people. So I didn't even know you could do that. And then I don't like razor blades. I always run away during the razor blade scenes, and I hate the story. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, like, I was just watching Reservoir Dogs, like, tweeted about it last week, and I was just watching it. It doesn't matter, it's not even a horror. I still have to turn away like I don't care. It doesn't even really show it.
The Reservoir Dogs is actually a friendly movie for a non-horror movie. I mean, it's not considered horror, but the whole thing, you're on edge as to what's going to happen to these guys. You could classify that as maybe some ways, I think.
Definitely suspense, like action. So yeah, needles, razor blades, and animals. And aliens who also eat people.
Let's see. For me, slasher movies really don't do it anymore. I think it depends on how desensitized you are too, because I've been watching movies like that since I shouldn't. So since they did,